Have you ever noticed how some of the smartest people you know just seem to prefer being alone? It's something you see all the time, right? Well, today we're going to dive into the really fascinating science behind why their brains might just be wired a little differently.
Come on, you know exactly who I'm talking about. It's that friend or maybe that coworker who is absolutely brilliant. They can run circles around anyone when you're talking about something complex. But the second Friday night rolls around and it's time to go out, they'll almost always politely pass.
It feels like a total paradox, doesn't it? They're great with people, they can be super charming, but it seems like they get their energy back by spending time in solitude. So it's not that they don't like people. What is really going on here? Well, the answer actually takes us way, way back into our own evolutionary history. To really get this, we have to look past our modern world and into our deep, ancient past. There's this incredible field of study called evolutionary psychology, and it's got this powerful idea called the Savannah theory of happiness.
So think about it. For literally hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors lived in these small hunter-gatherer groups. And in that kind of world, being connected to your tribe wasn't just a nice to have, it was a matter of life and death. Your brain actually evolved to give you a little hit of happiness for being social, because for most of human history, that's what kept you alive.
Okay, but here's the twist. The research suggests that people with higher intelligence are just better at solving new and complex problems all by themselves. Their brains might have evolved past that ancient instinct for constant social contact because they can find satisfaction and figure things out from within instead of always needing the group.
So that brings us to the first huge reason. For a really intelligent person, all that casual social stuff isn't just a fun activity. It can actually be a massive cognitive drain. This isn't about being antisocial. It's all about managing your mental energy.
You know, for a lot of us, socializing is like plugging in your phone. It recharges you. But for a highly analytical mind, that very same party can be totally draining. They're constantly translating these big, complex thoughts to fit the conversation, and then just costs a ton of mental energy. It leaves their battery completely empty.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. For most people, that social connection, that's the whole point. That is the important stuff. But for someone whose mind is chewing on a huge problem or a big new idea, small talk can feel like a real and honestly, a kind of frustrating distraction from what really matters to them.
And you know, that leads perfectly into the second, and I think even more powerful, reason. Their choice for solitude isn't about avoiding people. It's about being pulled towards something else, something big.
I want you to think about it like gravity. A massive, long-term goal, like writing a book or solving a huge scientific puzzle or building a company from scratch. It has its own powerful gravitational pull, and it demands your time, your energy, and most of all, deep, uninterrupted focus. And this just lays it out perfectly. Real breakthroughs don't happen at a loud party or a crowded bar. They happen in those quiet moments. First, you have to absorb all this complex information. Then, you have to get into that state of deep, unbroken focus. It's in that solitude that your brain can finally start connecting all these different ideas and, eventually, create something completely new.
So when you put all these pieces together, we really have to change how we think about a preference for being alone. It's not a flaw. It's a strategy. It's a tool for getting something important done.
Here's the bottom line. Choosing to be alone isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's not a weakness, it's a strategic tool. It's making a conscious choice to trade that short-term social fun for the pursuit of a much bigger, much more meaningful long-term goal. It's the quiet workshop where real progress is made. So, the next time you see that brilliant person choosing a quiet night in over a big party, maybe don't think of them as antisocial. Think of them as someone who's hard at work, pulling their big idea just a little bit closer to reality. Hey, if this explainer helped you see things in a new light, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. We break down fascinating ideas just like this one every single week, and I'd love to have you along for the ride. Thanks so much for watching.